Did Heligoland get improved? Well, it did, but not for all players. Guys, today we're gonna be taking a look at the recent changes made to the Heligoland map that were supposed to improve the map and discuss if those will actually improve it. Before we get into this topic though, I just want to clarify that in this video I sadly cannot show you those changes yet because they are not available on CTE. Once they do become available and DICE actually decides to release them, I'll make a separate video explaining and, most importantly, showcasing all of the new changes. And before you guys ask, what is the actual point of this video? Well, the point is, I don't know if they will release it to the CTE before releasing the second part of DLC, so I just want to make this video to inform you about recent changes. Alright, so what's actually different? Quite a lot, to be honest. First and most importantly, the thing that community requested so much, Dreadnought vs Dreadnought combat, is happening. They decided to implement Dreadnought for each side, and additionally, the attacking side will get a second Dreadnought if they lose the first one and they keep losing the round. On top of that, there's going to be 2 L-class destroyers available to each faction at the same time, meaning you can have 4 of those spawned at the same time on the battlefield. In addition to that, to intensify boat combat, or the naval combat in general, DICE tweaked all of the flags and now you can capture all of them from the destroyer. You don't need to go on the land, you can just sit in the destroyer, be in the water and just kill everyone on the objective. That's simple. And the same thing works for the C-class airship. Each side will get 1 of them, and you will also be able to capture all of the flags while being in the airship. To balance out planes, DICE decided to reduce the amount of them from 3 available to each side to only 2. However, if you still want to obtain the third plane and actually utilize it, you can still do it. All you have to do is capture the objective with the U-boat, and once you do it, there will be a third plane available to deploy in for your team. I told you a lot has changed, and surprisingly, those are not even all of the changes. DICE has also added more anti-aircraft cannons with better cover. If you remember the previous version of the map, those anti-aircraft cannons didn't have any cover, those were just standing in the open field. They increased the combat space for the infantry by adding an additional objective between the objective with Lighthouse, I believe this is the objective A, and the objective with the U-boat next to the tunnel. They have also implemented 6 additional fill boxes at the edges of the map to make it harder for pilots to actually pick off infantry from a long distance. Some of them even include stationary machine guns. And last but certainly not least, DICE has also implemented 4 new spawns for boats located on the objectives, so that now you can benefit even more from holding flags. So now comes the final question. Did the map get improved? Well, this time around I'm not gonna give you my opinion. I'm just gonna point out a couple of things and you will decide for yourself and let me know down in the comments. And why did I decide not to give my opinion? Because this patch was designed based on the community's feedback, and now I just want to see the feedback from the community. How do you guys like the patch that you requested yourself? First, let's start with the Dreadnought vs Dreadnought combat. It looks awesome on screenshots, it looks even better in the trailer, but in reality, is it really playable? There is tons of players constantly complaining about Dreadnought whenever it appears, whether this is Conquest game or even Operations, because yes, in reality, playing with the Dreadnought doesn't take much skill, you just click on the minimap and get kills. What happens if you have 2 of those active at the same time and you have infantry on the map? Can you see the problem? Yes, there is no life for the infantry on the ground, because they're gonna constantly get bombed with mortars. But that's not all, because additionally, this infantry on the ground will also get shot by the destroyer, and there is going to be 2 of those per one side, and on top of that, they will get bombed with planes. Or biplanes actually. And when you think it can't get any worse, surprise surprise! You have to deal with the C-class airship, which can hover and take all of the objectives. So you get killed multiple times, you get tired, and you decide to spawn in the plane. Not only you have to deal with the AA cannons that existed before this patch and could easily shoot you across the whole map, but on top of that, DICE decided to add more anti-aircraft cannons. You have anti-aircraft in 2 enemy destroyers, in enemy Dreadnought, in the enemy airship. You of course have those additional machine guns on the ground. On top of that you have infantry with the new AA rocket gun, and of course you have guys with LMGs laying down and shooting you. Oh, let's not forget, the maximum ceiling, or the maximum height that you can reach with your plane, is also lower on this map, so you can't even take the height advantage over anti-aircraft cannons. Great! In all seriousness though, if you take a look at the space for the infantry on this map, then cut it in half, considering that you only hold half of the objectives, at least statistically and in theory, so don't judge me for saying this, but you cut it in half and you are left with not much. And now you have to consider that everyone in Dreadnought will be spamming this area, everyone in Destroyer will be spamming this area, and everyone in planes will be spamming this area. It's just going to be a massive execution. But I'm not gonna go any deeper into this topic. As I've already said, I want to hear your opinions, guys, since this patch was fully based on the feedback from community, and now I want to see how community reacts to it. Deliver them in a constructive way and let's have a proper conversation. Ironically, I'm willing to bet a lot that we will actually be able to provide more feedback with comments under this video than the whole CTE forums did throughout the whole holidays. And that would be it for this video. As I've already said, guys, if we reach 5,000 subscribers before the January 22nd, I'm doing a face reveal on this day, January 22nd, so share the channel, and as always, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I see you on the battlefield!